to procure on site. That goes
Oh, hi.
as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
The mission rests entirely in your hands.
Not gonna lie,
Real one-man army.
I am actually kind of hyped for this remake because Metal Gear Solid 3 was my favorite Metal Gear Solid. Actually, it still is my favorite Metal Gear Solid.
Speak.
But hold on. As soon as we're done with this trailer, we'll get to what we're actually supposed to be here for. I promise. 1 second. Boss. Snake Eater.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Oh, this is Konami. No release date. That's actually kind of wild. All right, I'll watch the rest of the trailers later. Wait, unless it's the new Indiana Jones. Oh crap. Or has the new Indiana Jones trailer dropped? Oh no, it's not it. All right, never mind. Okay, welcome everybody. It is Artie of Artie's Corporate Fiction. How you guys doing? Hope you're having a good Sunday. I'm having a really lazy Sunday, but I apologize for the abrupt stoppage of yesterday's stream. I needed to get churrasco skewers from the Brazilian festival that happens about twice a year at the church parking lot that's right next to my house. I just walked over there, got a couple skewers, came back, worth it. So damn good. But we're gonna. So Jennifer and others have shown me this guy, this Brandon Joe Williams character. From what I see from his channel and his website, he is a low tier sovereign citizen guru who sells his own methodology of getting out of the system, how to get out of traffic tickets and having to pay for registration, having to, get a license, yada yada, you know the standard thing. And let me get that direct link to it too. It's like, what else are we gonna deal with? But apparently, according to some people, like what Jennifer and folks have said, he's extremely confident in his views. Let's put it that way. However, I believe in at least one of his alluded cases, he's already failed in one of his cases, and we're gonna take a look at that too. Here we go. I got the link now. I'm being diplomatic in my language. So, actually, you know what? I'll show this first. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, I'm showing the wrong... oops, I'm showing the wrong browser. 1 second. You guys are seeing the Starfield Reddit. Yeah, the Starfield DLC trailer dropped. It looks awesome, but also, more importantly, the creation kit's about to be dropped too today, which is also awesome because I want to see if I can actually make my own mod. I have an idea for a mod. There we go. So this is this dude's website. If this isn't I don't know how this guy has not been hooked up already for the unauthorized practice of law, but he is literally trying to sell themselves as a lawyer. It's kind of wild. Williams and I just now noticed I saw Williams and Williams. I just now noticed that it's Williams in capitalized, lowercase, and then Williams in all caps. Williams and Williams. I only just now saw that. I can't believe I missed that until just now. That he has was both of his names, but one's in all caps. Oh my god. Oh man, no. Okay. Learn about our services. Of course, he cites Article 1, Black's Law, 4th edition. You know, UCC. He quotes himself. Yeah, that is definitely pretty wild that he quotes himself as defining terms. That's interesting. No refunds. This isn't just about me acquiring some securities. This is about exhuming a buried United States of America from the graveyard. Plus, if you plan on discharging our transactions, which you should be, refunds would not be smart to do and will screw up the accounting on your credit account. Oh, yeah. If I give you refunds, it'll screw up your secret account of $600 million. You know, so yeah, that's why we can't do refunds, man. It'll just screw everything up. A lot of them, Lane. I think the vast majority of these guys cut off at 4th edition. 4th edition is they won't go any newer than 4th edition. So I've seen that before. But yeah, most of the use the reason why, but many of them use 2nd is because I believe the 2nd, if not 3rd, are public domain. So you can access them for free. Mergers and acquisitions. Diplomatic immunity. For a $20,000 securities donation, you can fly and come see me in Glendale. I'll help your paperwork. You physically go with you to an appointment locally with my girl at the post office that I have a relationship. What the what? I will help you with your paperwork and physically go with you to your appointment locally with my girl at the post office that I have a... Wait, so so he's in a relationship with a postal worker who will help file the paperwork? That seems very not appropriate. Oh, man. Private irrevocable trusts will be a $10,000 donation. Any hours required above 5 will be at a donation rate of $2,000. This motherfucker charges $2,000 an hour, $3,000 an hour, bro. Like top tier, like big law. Like, I'm talking about like top tier partners at like a major law firm in like New York City. You're looking at $1,000, maybe $1,000 an hour or $1,500 an hour. But that's like but you're in the top 0.1% of law firms out there. your standard good, decent lawyer, a good lawyer will be about about $300 an hour. High end, you're looking at 500, but that's pretty high end. But if you're looking at the top tier at a mega law firm with like decades of experience, that's gonna breach like $1,500. That's wild. Contract reading and writing contracts is $2,000 an hour. Man. Okay. Testimonials and successes. He's got one. Just one. Fan art? Oh god. Oh god, is this DeviantArt? Pickles? Oh my god. Wait, what? Is this guy in defeat? Oh no, he's in defeat. All right, we're not gonna watch any more of that. I think he's in defeat. Okay. All right. Let's done with the insults. This is one of their cases. But I want to go to one of his actual videos. There's one that I saw where he breaks down with somebody else a traffic stop. And but the problem is, like, they only go through like the first couple of minutes of the traffic stop, and then they don't go any further than that. And if you actually watch the traffic stop, you see that he gets that the guy in question gets a citation. I wonder why. Here we go. I was looking for the yeah, there it is. Oh, he posted this hour? Yesterday. Okay, you know what? Why not? Let's see what he did. What he talked about yesterday. I'm very curious about it.
Hello, this is Lord Williams of the Nation.
Oh no.
The Amnesty Coalition.
Uh-oh.
Hello. I hope you are having a jolly old day. So I bought this kind of steampunk, like royal kind of regal. I bought another thing. You can see it right here.
We are going to do a
costume.
We're gonna put this at 1.25 speed.
Costume. And I bought this. This is like a steampunk, kind of king costume, just to kind of get popping for everything I have going on with the Amnesty Coalition and everything. The date on this, as you guys can see, is June 8th, 2024. We're almost 2 years after the launch of the free Contract Killer course. I'm here today because my clients, of which I have very few, and also anyone else I talk to, do not seem to want to go through UCC Article 3. So this video here is going to be me, and I'm going to walk you through, hold your dick, quote unquote, through UCC Article 3, because it seems like no one's able to do it by themselves. And as much as that irritates me, I guess you hit a certain point where, just the way it is. It's the way it's going to be. So, yeah, we're going to walk through UCC 3 together, and I'm going to give you all of my little ideas, some of these things are a little complicated. So, if we go through this and you're not in agreement with me, you should read it all still. But as of now, just recently I started to get a lot more understanding of the difference between unconditional and conditional when it comes to promises to pay and orders to pay. So,
okay, now I'm not gonna. Sorry, I'm not gonna suffer. I'm not gonna put you guys through that. UCC 3 deals with negotiable instruments. I already took that course in law school. I've forgotten a good chunk of it. The negotiable instruments is just deals with securities, checks, financial transactions, and what are your rights and obligations. It's very dry. It's very boring. You guys don't need to know this unless you are in like the world of finance and business. No, you don't need to do that. I'm not gonna suffer through that with you guys. All right. What that has to do with anything with regards to paying your taxes, driving without a license, getting out of criminal charges, your guess is as good as mine. Okay, let's go with this guy. All right. This is the one I originally wanted to share with you. This is this guy right here was stopped by the police, and he's doing the breakdown. But the problem is they literally go through his video by the first 15 minutes, and then they don't go to the video, get back to the video ever again throughout the rest of their discussion. So,
hey, and welcome to the dumbest, shittiest, most pathetic, most fucked up COVID disease X riddle podcast that has ever existed since the dawn of humanity. I'm welcoming a very special guest today. All my guests are very special. We have today Captain Taylor Morgan. Say hi, Captain.
Ahoy.
We're going to be going through a video today where Taylor was pulled over, and we're going to be critiquing it and talking about different options and stuff like that. I know this video is going to get like 480 billion comments, so because everybody wants to chime in on this particular subject. So I know this is going to be probably my highest engagement video I've ever done, which is fine. It's just kind of confusing.
He's got 146 comments and 6.8K views.
Because people come trying to learn something and they walk away more confused than they came in. So we'll try our best to put that into perspective as we go through this. And this is basically just more of an opinion video. I typically don't do a lot of opinion videos. This is going to be probably the most opinion-focused or opinion-centric video I've ever done. So keep that in mind as we move through this. So in terms of you, I'd like to share a little bit about you. Can you tell, I'm going to put your Instagram up here, and I'd like you to just tell a little bit about your background and who you are and what you are. Because I think, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe that your whole kind of brand is sort of associated with what we're going to be looking at in the video.
Indeed. Yeah, health, fulfillment, and freedom. So I don't post content on the type of freedom that we are going to be talking about today until I won't post content about that until I understand it to your level of understanding. But when it says freedom there, first and foremost, it's talking about like physical freedom, like being able to do what you want physically, mental freedom, freedom from your own.
Okay, thank you. You're not the health and welfare style guru. Fine, it's fine. Let's go to the meat of what we're here for. All right.
You are a slave to anybody in any way. So yeah, it's excited to get into this. And yeah, this video that we're going to watch is by no means the best example because I just fucked around and found out. I was like, okay, let's see how this goes.
That's what I liked about it. That's why I was like, fuck yes. That's why I shared it, because I was just so into, and I'll talk a lot about that.
Oh, so they're okay. So they're aware that he ended up getting a citation at the end of it.
I'm a fan of fuck around and find out, as long as it's within the confines of some semblance of emotional stability. That's really the key to everything, right? And that's why I really enjoyed your video, which we'll get into in a moment. But big shout out to Joe Lustica. Joe Lustica is one of those kinds of people who would fit this kind of category. He stayed up all night when he first learned about my website. He stayed up all night. He read my whole State National Authority page, and then he didn't even sleep. And then the next day, I believe it was the next day, he filed his first affidavit. I don't even remember what it was for. I think he sent something to the state or something, and he typed it up. And I'm just like, what in the bleep? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Joe Lustica came out of the gate like red hot, going 15,000 miles an hour. So there are people like that out there, and I think this video, I definitely was not one of those people, even remotely. So I think this video will be very cool for that type of category, people who may be new to this. Okay. With that said,
I think one of the reasons that allows me to do that is because even though I don't like know the information to be able to repeat it in this way, I know it in my being. Like I've felt this way in my soul for a long time, and then especially after consuming your content, it just breaks it down. It's like, okay, so this is real. What I have been feeling this whole time, that we shouldn't be slaves to these quote unquote laws and regulations. Like I know this in my being, so that's what allows me to take these actions in full faith that everything will work out exactly how it's supposed to.
1,000%. I agree with you entirely. It's just, I get a lot of messages too where it's like, I've always had this terrible feeling going to the DMV. I always knew something was wrong. I always knew, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's funny how you do know. That's the most amazing thing. We all really do know, So real quick, let's do a sound check on this. I want to make sure this is getting shared on your end. So I'm going to hit play, and I just want to make sure you can hear it, okay?
You have no license plate on your car, and
Can you hear that?
Good.
You can hear that? Dylan?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect.
also work.
All right, so here's the video. We're going to go through it. This is on the Captain's channel. You can click on this, Captain's Lifestyle channel, okay? And
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm gonna go ahead and just hit play, and then we'll just pause it. It is kind of a long video. We'll see. We'll get through the whole thing. I might skip over some sections, okay? So let's just get rolling on this. You ready?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Oh, what's the emergency?
The reason I stopped you is you have no license plate on your car, and you also were going above the speed limit.
Okay.
In case you had about 52, and the speed limit was 40. Your driver's license, registration, and insurance.
No. Do you have a signed warrant or probable cause proving that I committed a crime?
Okay, so the first thing, right off the bat, he's here for a traffic stop. They don't need to have a warrant or probable cause. They only need an RAS to allow you to stop and detain you right off the bat. But they can get probable cause if they observe you driving over the posted speed limit, and if they observe you driving without a proper plate on there. So they don't have to. So they can get PC, but they don't need PC to stop you. And no, they don't need a warrant to stop you either.
Crime.
Committed a crime.
With a victim? Who's the victim?
Committed two violations.
So these. They don't need a victim. Most traffic infractions. Well, I mean, in a lot of states, they don't consider traffic violations to be crimes. Some of them considered to be quasi-crimes, like in the state of New Jersey. Other states consider them to be civil infractions. But that doesn't stop the authority of the police from being able to stop you if they observe you committing an infraction. And no, there doesn't need to be a physical victim to be in violation of it and to be subject to potential fines and penalties for violating that infraction.
Violation.
Who is the victim of what?
Thank you for the $4.99, Akira. Appreciate it. It never stops. Happy Sunday, Artie, and the kitties. Thank you.
Crime.
You violated two physical
No.
codes.
No.
No. So real quick. So obviously, it goes without saying, this whole video is from a very masculine point of view. Like, no woman's gonna watch this and be like, oh, I could do this. Women would handle the situation completely differently, and frankly, I think most women would actually be more successful at this than men, doing it because I think that men have a tendency to get into a little bit of friction.
Yes.
We just kind of, that's what we do. You know what I mean? So getting into friction is in my opinion, it's a surefire. It's like wrapping cinder blocks on your legs and throwing yourself in the river. Like,
I don't know what this guy has been seeing, because I've seen some female sovereign citizens who can be just as aggressive as a lot of men can, but okay.
Style. Because once you lock into that energy with the other person, it becomes extremely, extremely difficult to get out of it. Because there's no affinity, there's no understanding of the other person, there's no concrete base to like base anything off of. So it's like you're already assumed to be an enemy, and then when you start getting into the friction, now you start getting into that, and there's no way out. Like basically, that's the way I look at it, right? Like if you knew the officer, or you had seen the officer before, or like it was at Starbucks and you were like, oh hey, officer, blah blah blah, and then later on you were pulled over and you recognize that officer, and that officer recognized you. It might be a little different. Like you could maybe do that a little bit, and there's more of like a leniency or a leeway there because there's something already kind of there. They at least recognize who you are. But especially with a female officer, and then like you being like fucking looking like Thor and shit, it's just like I just feel like the whole thing just goes into a dark hole very, very rapidly.
Yeah, and I understand this is one of my biggest areas of opportunity is how to engage in these types of situations with more tact and to completely take my emotion out of it and really come from a place of understanding, like trying to understand their point of view and to better articulate the situation.
Yeah, with that said, I mean, this being your first time and you're kind of new to the information, again, that's why I liked this video so much. I still feel like you were pretty good, pretty stable. I mean, I know there's a lot of information online about roll the window down only partially and this kind of thing. I just feel like they need any reason to think that you are an enemy. And then once they think you're an enemy and your hands are down low, they can't see where your hands are at.
Yes.
You know, they're not getting paid the big bucks. You know what I mean? So your hands are down, you're in a truck, you're up high. The window is barely rolled down. They're thinking guns. You know what I mean?
Very suspicious, yes.
So the thing is that as soon as they start thinking guns, things get very bad very fast. And we've seen that online. I've been shown many examples where that kind of thing, and you have these videos where they're like saying the sov sit stuff and all this kind of thing, which all the ones that I've been sent are horrible, terrible examples of what to do when you get pulled over. I mean, so bad. I mean, just giving them a zero.
This is also one of those. This is also a standard trope of a lot of these gurus, because you look at this. Juan Galt would know about this with Yusuf L, this guy, and so many others. Alphonse Fagiolo. They'll always say like, "Oh God, these sovereign citizens that say this and that, they're a bunch of morons. They don't know what they're doing. They're completely ruining it. The way they do things is all wrong. My way is the true way. That's why you got to go to me and pay $2,000 an hour just for me to review a godforsaken contract negotiation."
Out of 10 would be friendly. They're so bad, obviously. That's why they got so bad. This one, you know, like having the window down rolled, I roll mine all the way down, and I'm in a car, so I'm like down low. So they're above, way towering above me, and they can see everything. And I keep my hands on the steering wheel. Like I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation from the beginning to the point where like it never has an opportunity to.
Here, thank you for the $4.99, man.
Physically or otherwise, right? So again, this is an opinion-based video, and I will also say for my own opinion, I haven't been pulled over in a long time. Like I drive around with, for people who are unfamiliar with my platform, I have diplomatic plates, and I drive around in a 2009 Shelby GT500. It's got 800 horsepower. It's straight pipe. It's very loud. The police really like my car. It's a very like, you know, it's kind of like all the memes where you see like, this is what you expected your life to be when you got your sports car. There's girls everywhere. And then this is your life when you actually get the sports car, and it's dudes everywhere saying, hey, cool, nice car, dude. Love your car, dude. And it's like super gay. That's literally exactly what actually happens. So dudes like my car. Cops love my car. So there's also this kind of weird affinity that we have where every time a cop sees my car, they're like, hell yeah, bro. So it's also like I don't get accosted by police just simply because my car is so fucking cool, quote unquote, to them. You know what I mean? It's like a homegrown kind of car. It's not some like super high-end McLaren where they're like, fuck this rich piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. It's a GT500. It's like,
okay, I don't care. I don't care about what this guy drives.
Respect that I already have, this high level of rapport that I already have with an officer to the point where they don't even pull me over. I could do almost anything. And then my motorcycle is kind of the same category. So when you're in a nondescript car that may not build any like kind of automatic affinity, like for example, you ever see a guy in a fucking 1969 fastback Mustang pull over on the side of the road by police?
Well, how many 1969 fastback Mustangs are there out on the road? What a stupid comment to make.
Unlikely.
No one has, because it doesn't happen. Because the amount of respect.
So wait, so does this guy think that if your car looks cool enough, the cops are gonna let you off? Or highly likely to let you off and do whatever you want because your car might look cool to them? I don't understand this.
That almost every officer of the law has for a car like that is like, whoa, cool, badass car. Like they're not going to even pull you over. Okay. Now the
I've
more
also heard you
looking car. Well, go ahead. I don't want to talk forever. Go ahead, Taylor.
I've also heard you talk about this from a more energetic perspective, like vibrational perspective, like because you are completely free and clear from the game that they.
Oh God,
There's like a karmic dissonance, like you're not attracting those situations. Me,
yes.
Oh dear God, it's the whole. I don't know why a lot of sovereign citizens are also into this rabbit hole of spirit science and vibrations and what's the secret that whole stuff. I also noticed that I mean, even a lot of people that on there that are like profess like Christians, they also buy into a lot of like spirit science stuff. And it's very, very odd to me. Like, I kind of wish I'll have to find out where this guy is if I can get in contact with him. The problem is I don't know if he'll actually. Did I take the vibrations law course? No, I missed that one. Juan, I think that was an elective. It was a third-year elective. The thing is, the problem is, like, a lot of people will say, like, this guy, I don't know. I would love to have a chat with him, but I don't know if he'll actually, bite. Juan, do a live with him? I would love to do a live stream with this guy, and I would like to pick his brain. The thing is, like, a lot of them will say I'll be disrespectful, I'll be combative, I won't let him talk, and I disagree with that. I mean, yeah, I'll be unhinged sometimes when I watch some of these sovereign citizen videos, but I feel like if you look at my past debates, I tend to be a lot more cordial and respectful. I'm not going to like mince my words in terms of if I feel like your views or your understanding of the law is completely wrong, I'm going to say that, but I'm not going to scream at him, call him a sov sit, and then mute him all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done a little bit of trolling here and there, but I'm capable of having a back and forth, so long as he's able to have a back and forth as well. So if he's wanting to, I'll reach out to him, or somebody can reach out to him for me and let him know that I'm interested in talking. So
clearly, there is still some karmic reason that I'm attracting this in my life, right?
Well, let me throw something out there at you, because maybe this is true, maybe it's completely false. As a content creator and as somebody who is an online personality, do you? I mean, this is a great opportunity to create content too. So it's sort of like, even from a karmic aspect of getting pulled over for something positive, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, I'm getting pulled over, thus there must be something I'm doing to karmically deserve that. It also could be, I'm getting pulled over because I want to practice, or I'm getting pulled over because I want to create content, or this is an excellent opportunity to create content. Or it could be, I'm getting pulled over because as a man, I want to test my ability to be masculine and deal with a masculine situation. It doesn't need to be something negative necessarily.
Getting stopped by the cops that are getting into a traffic stop is a masculine enterprise? What?
No, that's absolutely not what I mean by karmic. I view situations as they are. One of my favorite quotes from Shakespeare is, "Nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." Right? So I view each of these situations that I'm in as learning experiences. What can I learn from this, and how can I and my community benefit from these situations? So for the audience doesn't know this, but I was also arrested last week, which we can get into some other time. But I was talking with one of my buddies on this, and we were talking about this kind of energetic level, vibration. I'm attracting these situations into my life, clearly. And he brought up a good point that there may still be some level of a need to feel powerful in me, that I'm just so anti-authority that I need to be free and to feel powerful, specifically regarding this last situation. But there,
kind of feel like you're you're kind of saying the quiet part out loud there.
Be some aspect of that to it. And so he mentioned to just be more humble too. And I've heard you talk about this too. Like, I have nothing against cops. Any of these people who I interact with on this video or the other arrest, I have nothing against them as human beings because I understand it from their perspective. My best friend is a cop. So, yeah, talking about just coming from a place of non-emotion and just helping each other understand each other.
Yeah, it's the more you learn, the more you realize that the law to learn all that and figure lines of diplomatic relations / psychology rather than legal, honestly.
Yes.
So let's get back into this video. Let me just share the screen again. People always ask me all the time, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Again, it is theoretical, very theoretical. But to answer the question, what would I do? Do you have license and registration? I don't qualify. I don't legally qualify for a license. Why do you not legally qualify for a license? I am not a resident of any of the 50 states. That's all I would say. It would be perjury, which is up to 1 year in prison.
I'm pretty sure this guy says he lives in Glendale, California. So he does live in one of the 50 states.
For me to sign any documentation stating that I am a resident of any of the 50 states. Thus, I do not have a driver's license because it would require me to sign under penalty of perjury that I am a resident of one of the 50 states. So that's why I use my passport, and I have a private motor carrier DOT number at the federal level. The state level does not allow me to have foreign registration. The federal level, I can have foreign registration, and I would present to them the DOT. So if you go on to, let me share my screen. DOT number lookup. So anyone, you don't have to be a police officer. Anyone can do a DOT.
Okay, I don't know why these guys are doing a DOT check because they're trying to register themselves as like a foreign agent or as a he's doing the whole diplomatic. I'm a diplomatic member, or I'm claiming to be a diplomatic ambassador of what, of who, of where. But for all intents and purposes, you are and have been living within the 50 states your entire life. I don't know this guy's history, but I mean, what is he?
DOT check. Okay, and I'll show you how that works. It's very, very simple. Oops. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So here is it's called the company snapshot, and you can just type in, literally into Google, you can just type in DOT number lookup, and it'll pop right up, right? So if you just type in my DOT number, 4043625, enter, right? You can see here that anyone, including the police, can pull up this document, okay? And this document is an entire snapshot of your entire DOT situation, right? So entity type carrier, it's active, when was the form date, all the info, right? By the way, this address goes nowhere, and this phone number goes nowhere, so don't call me. And we have, this is cut off. This actually says official guest of the United States. You can see it on the printout that I have. Private for private property, private passenger, non-business. You can see the check marks. It is interstate. Cargo carried is household goods, passengers, and private property. You can see here, okay? And they can look this up if they want to, right? And I also have a copy of this available for them, and I call this piece of paper my registration, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the only legal registration that I can carry as a foreigner. So it's a federal level registration, and that's the way that I would describe the situation to the officer, and I would present the officer with the passport, card, or book, and I would present to them this company snapshot. Okay?
Yeah, I was going to say that too, Jennifer. That's what I was thinking myself. Like, if you're going to register yourself with the Department of Transportation, doesn't that explicitly put you in commerce? And isn't that the exact opposite of what these guys want?
Question on the passport, because at the time I had my passport card in my vehicle at the time. I just forgot about it, so I didn't present it to them in this situation. But they obviously looked me up, and like, I have a license, but they I don't know. Clearly, having the updated passport didn't make any difference in the outcome of this situation. So is that something they have to look up separately, like with the passport number?
Did you give them the passport, or did you give them?
I did not. I didn't. I just gave them my affidavit of status. I forgot I had the passport card.
Oh
in there
yeah,
at
the
the
affidavit
time.
of status. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Give me. We're gonna take a quick break here. Just give me 2 seconds, okay? Okay, we're back. So you had a you had the passport on you, but you didn't hand it to them. You handed them the affidavit of status, correct?
Correct.
And what was on that affidavit of status?
Basically, just saying that I am not a entity. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I am a living, breathing man, essentially, and with the codes, and I'm a man of God, and I follow God's law. And if there is a
you don't get to pick and choose which laws you get to follow. If you want to do the whole libertarian non-aggression principle, that's fine. But while you are within the geographic bounds of the states united, you are obligated to follow its laws, including traffic laws. Just saying that you follow God's law does not make you immune from your obligations.
victim, if I have damaged anybody's property, stolen anything, if I've committed an actual crime, then yes, please hold me accountable to that. I don't remember.
Why would they be the ones to hold you accountable to that if you only follow God's law? So again, point being, you don't get to pick and choose which laws you want to follow or adhere to with the state.
Exactly everything that's on it's a long thing, and I printed it out a long time ago. This was from the one that I got was from Alphonse Fagiolo. Are you familiar with him?
Yes.
Alphonse gets a name drop.
That was before I started your free course, so that I would say that was about close to a year ago.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with affidavit of status. It's just that, again, it comes down more of a psychology point. When you say na, you can't get me, what do people tend to do?
They want to get you.
Yeah, it's human reaction.
And that's exactly what I do. That I provoke it from the cops. It's like,
yeah,
let's go, motherfuckers.
There's a lot of that even in what I do. It's very, very, very common. Women don't do that typically, by the way, which I find very interesting. So let's go ahead and just watch this, and let's get further through this video, especially to that point. Okay, just real quick on this. Her being female, you being in a truck and looking like Thor and being up high and having your window down like that and then reaching around. Yeah. I know it's your first time, but that's a recipe for very bad things to happen.
I don't know why he keeps on bringing up this dynamic of his looks and the fact that the officer is a female. Very weird.
I mean, I'm sure you probably realize that.
Yes.
If you were in like a Mazda Miata and it was like a big dude and he could like look and he was like just towering over you, like maybe you could reach around and it wouldn't be as much of an issue, but mixing all the elements together, it's like, yeah, like, no. If a fucking little blonde woman, you know what I mean? Like, she's probably literally holding herself together pretty well, but she was probably literally, like, totally freaking out in her mind. Like,
got the alarms going, for sure. I don't know if you noticed, but, like, once I started doing that, she, like, looked back and was like, do I have backup?
Yeah, dude, that's just like, even a guy is going to get a little bit spooked, but a chick, it's like, Jesus, fuck, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just, just that's what we're here to do, is we're here to look this over, and you have to put yourself in their shoes. I feel like the more you put yourself in their shoes, the more successful you'll be, and that goes for anything in life: sales, dating. That's just across the boards. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So let's keep moving through this. No. I do love that. I mean, even getting water, I would drink it and I would put it up on the dash, especially being in a truck. You're in a truck, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Tahoe.
like I would literally have my hands above the window line basically the whole time. I would never put my hands down below not because I'm scared necessarily. You know what I mean? Just
to give them a shadow of a doubt.
Well, like I said, if you hard anything, if you can keep it out of that black morass, then you have a really, really good chance of handling the situation really well. Once you step into that bear trap,
Okay, we're almost 30 minutes into this, and the most that I've gotten from this guy so far is that part of the reason why he may have failed is because of his intimidating presence or the weight of his demeanor. And also he kind of like, he poo-pooed on the idea of providing his affidavit of status versus his passport. That's really all I've gotten so far. A lot of everything that they've been talking about so far has just been like, at least with regards to this specific traffic stop, is you're intimidating her because of you being masculine Giga Chad and her being a female Giga Chad in a truck versus her being a female, and that automatically caused a rift. But if you were in a fancy Mustang, classic Mustang, you probably wouldn't have been hooked up in the first place. Or if you were in a Mazda Miata, there would not have been a false, a bad first impression to begin with. That's all I've gotten so far. I haven't gotten anything with regards to specifically what he said and what he could have done to get out of the situation that he's in.
Because the difficulty level rises like 100x. You know what I mean?
Both of our guards are up. And
Yeah.
that just creates friction.
Yeah. So let's keep rolling on this. That's what I'm saying.
Do it for the gram.
You are. I mean, I would like, at large and diplomats how to actually interact with police officers. And I just want to let you know I am recording this and it may be used for educational non-commercial purposes, something like that. But that's what I actually do. So you know what I mean? Like that's what I would say because that's what I actually do. So if it would have never gotten bad, they probably would have never asked you to step out of the vehicle. So now you're in the bear trap. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to that would be I'm a non-resident alien.
Okay, finally we're getting to answers here.
Of state of California, and I'm actually not a resident of any of the 50 states. Because the way they look at it is if you're a resident of any, not just state of California, if you're a resident of any of the 50 states, you'd be under the California Vehicle Code.
Even if you're a non-resident of the 50 states or of any state, even if you're a foreign national, you still have to have a proper license to operate a motor vehicle. You can't be a tourist from France and being able to drive all over the United States willy-nilly.
But if you the smart way of saying you don't have jurisdiction over me, you can't get me is I'm not a resident of any of the 50 states at all. It's saying the same thing, but it won't trigger an emotional defensive response.
Well, no, the office is going to say, well, sir, even if you're not a resident of the 50 states, you need to have a license to operate a motor vehicle in the United States. Now what? Akira, thank you for the another $40.99. Appreciate it. American State National. Not quite. This guy is excuse me, Akira. This guy Brandon seems to be going through like I'm a non-resident but diplomatic. I have diplomatic immunity, or I'm an ambassador.
Response.
Right.
You see, you can say I'm here in Laguna Beach, but I'm not a resident of Laguna Beach, because when you say I'm a resident of Laguna Beach, you're saying that from their perspective, the way they translate that is you are a resident of the corporation called City of Laguna Beach. Do you see?
No, they're just saying that you're a resident of Laguna Beach and by extension a resident of the state of California. Most states, if you have been staying within the state in a particular place in the state for more than 30 days, you are going to be considered a resident. And therefore, that creates obligations you have to adhere to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a resident of Laguna Beach. I am not a resident of California. I'm just visiting. I'm a tourist. I'm a foreigner. I'm.
How long have you been transitory in the state of California? 20 years.
I'm a foreign diplomat. That's the direction I would go, because I actually am. But
yeah. See, he claims he's a foreign diplomat, but foreign diplomats also have are also obligated to have authorization to operate a motor vehicle.
But you could just say I'm a foreigner. I don't live here. If they say where are you from, you can say anything. You could say Antarctica. Because keep in mind, the definition of naturalization is the conferring of nationality of a state upon a person after birth by any means whatsoever. So when you tell them that you are a resident of Antarctica, what you're actually doing in that moment is you're actually naturalizing into Antarctica.
No, you're not.
Did you know that?
That's so wild.
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah. So when you tell them that you're not a resident, and they say, well, where are you a resident of? And you say France, when you said
I just gave the example of France.
France, you've now naturalized into France. That's how it works.
I can't just simply declare, oh yeah, I'm a resident of Japan, and that turns me into a weeb. No.
In statutory terminology, that's how it actually physically works. How long is that affidavit? Is it like 3 or 4 pages, or is it longer?
No, it's about three pages, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was going to give them anything, it would need to be like a half page. There's no way I would hand them multiple pages of documents. The one thing that I do carry around in my car, I can do a screen share, is you go to Google and type in Diplomatic and Consular Immunity Guide for Law Enforcement.
Oh, God.
I have it on my website, but if you can find it on...
Yes, but most of the people who have that actually have credentials. They have actual credentials recognized by the U.S. State Department that you are a Mexican national who works works at the local consulate. You'd have credentials that's recognized by the U.S. State Department, and law enforcement will have the ability to check and confirm that you are a foreign diplomat. You can't just like declare yourself to be a foreigner and then not even say, "Oh, so then where are you from?" or what's your nationality? Like foreign.
Give me 1 second here. We have Diplomatic and Consular Immunity Guide. Share screen. So if you type it into Google, it'll come up, and you can actually download it straight from the Department of State. You don't have to go.
Exactly.
I think it's good that people know that it's not just some shit that I found somewhere on the internet. I mean, you can literally get it from the State Department.
Nobody's denying that it's an actual thing, that foreign diplomats tend to have diplomatic immunity, which usually includes traffic codes. But that also doesn't mean that you could commit every single crime under the sun, however.
Community, I printed this off in very nice color. I went to Kinko's and paid probably $21 to print this document, double-sided. And it is a lot. This is the only large documentation that I would ever hand a police officer. And I do have this in my car. And so I have the private motor carrier DOT number. I have printed off the definition of a private motor carrier from the FMSCA website so they can see that it's a real thing. And then I have my private motor carrier DOT look up my registration, and then I have this document as well and I just tell the officer, look, I don't know if you've ever interacted with a diplomat before, but if you're not familiar with the information, I'm going to go ahead and present this with you, and it also has a 24-hour hotline right here, Diplomatic Security Command Center, consular notification and immunity issues, and I would point to the officer, and I let the officer know that if he has any questions, he can email or call any of these offices. And then the other thing I would do is, per the Diplomatic and Consular Immunity Guide, they can detain you until they can verify your identity. So I would also tell the officer, see right here, Office of Foreign Missions, right? So they can call any of these hotlines or whatever they want. For whatever reason, I don't think, when people tell the officers this, I don't think they really even make the call. I think they just cut them loose. I don't know why.
Wait, you think or you know? What makes you think that they'll just cut you loose if you just... See, this is the problem that I have with this guy trying to say this. He's saying with no confidence, with barely any confidence, that if you just announce to officers, no, I'm a foreign diplomat, and they're just gonna let you, the cops are just gonna let you go and go off of that? Are you sure?
I just, from all the reports I've gotten, it just seems like that's what happens. I don't have any way of really verifying that.
Yeah, of course not.
You also want to tell the officer that, by law, you can detain me until you can verify my identity. And I would tell the officer, look, I understand that anyone could say they're anything. So,
yeah,
I'm more than happy to sit here and kind of hang out while you verify my identity. And you have your hands up and they can see them. You see, it just keeps everything very, very calm, and it allows them to do their job the best way they see fit. I wouldn't hand them an affidavit. I just think that's, while it is true, it is functional, and it is actually legally true that you can do that. I just think that you're raising the tension meter. If there was like a tension meter,
you're just basically raising the flag to the officer. Oh, it's another sovereign citizen. That's what you're doing.
You're raising that tension meter a little bit by issuing those documents to the police officer. So it just depends if that's what you want to do. But I'm always trying to figure out how do you interact in a way that does not increase that tension meter at all. I want the whole thing to start at a 0, and I want the whole thing to end at a 0 on the tension meter.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep rolling with this. So, I mean, you can say a U.S. national or national of the United States or non-citizen national. That's using their terminology. I'm not even sure the police would know what that is, but that's the actual legal terminology on that, if you wanted to say that. A U.S. national, you would have to have pledged allegiance to the United States in order to say that you're a U.S. national, technically, because if we get into, just to swing over to that real quick, let's see here, 8 U.S.C. 1101, subsection A22. The term national of the United States means a citizen of the United States, or B, a person who, though not a citizen of the United States, owes permanent allegiance to the United States. So you could say that you were, if you wanted to use the terminology that would classify you in section B, you would say a non-citizen national of the United States, just to be very, very pedantic.
In other words, a member or a resident of the American Samoa. Because those are the only non-citizen nationals that are still around. They are people from the American Samoa.
About the whole thing and use exact terminology. Going back to,
but like you said, I don't imagine the cops know, like they would have any idea of what that means.
Possibly. There is a lot of information even in the diplomatic and consular immunity guide about U.S. nationals of the United States, and non-citizen nationals. There's a whole section. So you could even say, I'm a non-citizen national of the United States, and you can even say in the diplomatic and consular immunity guide, there is information about that if you would like to know more from the State Department directly. So let's continue on this video. Now, if you notice, look what she's doing. What is she doing right now? You see it?
Mm-hmm.
What is she doing? You see
I don't see anything.
She's looking.
Looking for what?
Trouble. My hands.
She's looking for your hands. She's looking for weapons. She's looking for knives. She's looking for guns. She's looking for bombs. She's looking for everything, right? I do have to admit, they're also pretty fucking calm. It's honestly impressive.
People in Guam, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Mariana Islands are all U.S. citizens. They have birthright citizenship by statute.
On both sides of the spectrum. It's impressive on your end, and it's also impressive on their end, to be honest with you. This could have gotten...
Oh, Swains Island is also another one? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought it was just American Samoa.
That's happening, bro. Yeah. It's funny. I just looked this up, I think today or yesterday. I was doing some research on the word identity. Identity, the actual legal definition of identity means like verification of sameness, meaning like verification that one thing is that of which it says it is, or it is the same as something else. Like, is this your name? Like, you are identifying with that name. Or is this your car? You are identifying the fact that you and the car have some sort of sameness of possession, right? So you also have to keep in mind too is that the definition of the term identify means sameness. So it's a relative aspect. They're asking you, they don't realize this because they don't know the definition of the word identify, but the definition of the word identify would be sameness, or a relativity between you saying that you are something or some name or some symbol, and then it being verified through some third-party source that you are that thing or name or symbol. So failing to identify, if you take it really literally, the word fail means attempting to do something and then your intended intention was not completed. That's the definition of failing. And then identify would be to verify sameness. So failing to identify is kind of a really weird terminology if you really break it down, because failing to prove through a third party, attempting to prove through a third party source that you are the same as some symbol or word or name, and then through the activities of you attempting to do that, you weren't able to do that. So
no, well, so a failure to identify is essentially you are refusing to provide your name or any other failing to provide your name or identity, or the description of who you are that can be confirmed by a third-party source. In this sense, the third-party source would be the state, and usually it works. The best police will say for the provision of one's driver's license, or social security number, or or passport even, can be used as to confirm one's identity. I don't know why he's making it far more difficult or far more convoluted than it needs to be, other than just to confirm that you are who you say you are.
If I was said that I failed to identify, I would say, well, identify means sameness. So what is the sameness of which you are trying to verify that I am the same as?
And the cop would just be like, sir, I just need your driver's license or your name and date of birth.
They're not going to be able to
I think that would just blow their mind. No.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to answer that question. But it gets them to think. It's like, I would like to identify, but I need to be able to identify in a way to where I'm not failing. How can I do that? You see? You would put that problem on their doorstep to figure out.
Usually by providing a driver's license.
I don't legally qualify to have one. I would like to...
Well, if you don't legally qualify to have one, you can't operate a motor vehicle in the state of California or in whatever state that you're in.
Identify myself, but I'm honestly not sure how. Can you help me do it?
And then usually when they say that, the cop will say, can I get your name, date of birth, and potentially your SSN?
Now you flip the whole thing around on their doorstep, you see?
Mm-hmm.
The traveling versus driving thing has gotten so bad that you so much as even say that, and the tension meter just goes to like fucking 10 instantly, so it's...
Yeah, no wonder.
Pointless. It's very sad. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that... I'm just saying, like, it just is what it is. I would personally never bring up driving versus traveling. That's just like waving a gun in the air.
Is that because the sovereign citizens have kind of overused
that? I just wouldn't ever bring that up. That's just not... It's just too lost. Meaning, like, it's got so much emotional reaction, and there's so much information online about it, and it's so associated with... It's just like... It's like we've lost that. That's just, like, gone, in my opinion.
Well, at least he admits that.
The guy you're with is pretty fucking good too, honestly. Really impressive the way that he was handling the situation. I mean, it is a lot easier for him because he's not in the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? See, they're freaked out. You got them freaked out, looking around.
They're not. So at this point, okay, so they do actually still talk about the video, but they're not showing the video anymore.
Asking about weapons, like they think you've got guns.
The weapon.
Yeah, when they think you've got guns and they think that you'll use it, ooh, that's bad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And by the way, that's typically why they want you to get out of the car, because they're so nervous about weapons and guns and your hands being down and they can't see anything, and that's why they just want to get you out of the car. They just want to get you out of the car. They just want to get you out of the car. It's actually a defensive mechanism. I know there's information online about then they can do stuff and I don't know. There may or may not be some truth to that. I really do believe there is a real fear and terror associated with the idea that there could be guns ablaze in here any second. There's a lot of stuff on it online. There's a lot of videos on it online. It is everyone, whether they're on the actual sovereign citizen side of the spectrum, meaning like if they really believe that kind of crap and they really do act that way, or even people who don't and they actually take this very seriously and they study it for a long time and they really know what they're talking about, it typically is statistically every single person involved with law, studying law, understanding the law, acting with the law, owns arms. I mean, I couldn't even imagine a person getting into this that wouldn't own arms, to be honest with you. So statistically, anyone they encounter that's going to be talking about any of this information in any way is going to be an owner of some sort of arm or firearm. And that's true. That's actually factually true. So keep in mind that
maybe
if you so much as even start talking about anything about the rights, the Constitution, your rights, the law, anything, like they probably think, arms or firearms, because that's factually true. I mean, have you ever met anyone who's into any of this stuff that doesn't love and own guns? I mean, I don't think I ever have, ever.
Yeah, it's definitely the majority.
Yeah. So there you go. You know what I mean? So is this nervousness justified? I mean, I would say yes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's good. I would have definitely turned the car off. I like stuff and yieldy.
Me too.
It's fun. So he must have read or at least skimmed over your affidavit to say something like that.
Yeah, he clearly did.
I mean, if you want like the actual, I mean, you can even print off the definition of a U.S. national from 8 U.S.C. 1101 subsection 822, and then you can also print off. Let me see here. I mean, if you want to carry all this shit, I wouldn't hand all this to them, but it would be nice just to have the memes where you see like women are so complicated I'll never understand them, and then it'll be yeah, but men understand this, and it shows the cluster of a fucking car cluster. I think these are so funny, you know. It's like so the idea that oh this is so complicated and oh Brandon's making it so complicated. No, I think that this is the world we live in. You know, it's the dash cluster of a car is really the things that you should know when you're operating a car. You know. When you're working with a woman and you're interacting with a woman, you know, there's a fun meter, there's a safety meter, there's a passion meter, there's a sexual meter, there's all these different things. It's like you should have your idea and your pulse on these various things, and I think this is no different. You know what I mean? This discourse is really great, by the way. I think this is fantastic. If this kind of discourse occurred more often, there just wouldn't really be a lot of issues between people and the police in general. This is what it's all about, and this is one of the things that I really enjoyed about this video. Now, real quick on this one, if you really want to get into the driving versus traveling thing, I feel like I'm just now thinking about it because this is kind of getting me to kind of cook my brains a little bit here. This is how I would do the driving versus traveling. I would go and print off, and I think I actually did print this off and put it in my car. I forget all the things I have in my car. I wouldn't hand the cop a whole stack of shit, but I have like certain things that if needed, I would like to be able to show them rapidly. And if I don't have phone access or I have bad service, I want to make sure I have paper copies to hand. 20, or no, I think it's 49 CFR.
Oh boy, what's he citing here? 49 CFR, Code of Federal Regulations, 390. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations.
390.
0.5. 3090.5.5.5. Definitions. And where at the top it says, unless specifically defined elsewhere in this subchapter. And what does this subchapter talk about? Is Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations. And then he's going to go to T. Which one is T?
0.5T. I believe this is it here. And you have the definition of driver. Now, Title 49 is transportation. Okay? So you can say the transportation Title 49. And you can print
5T. Wait, where's T at? Oh, of course. So 49.5 T. Again, unless specifically defined elsewhere in the subchapter, it'll say driver is any person who operates any commercial motor vehicle. And now he's going to use that to say, aha. Driver means commercial, ergo, I win. Eat it, bar members. Even though every state has its own definition of driver, and they do not define driver as only referring to somebody who's operating a commercial motor vehicle. Commercial is usually, well, actually, no, commercial's never given that level of specificity. So, yeah.
Print this off. Driver means any person who operates any commercial vehicle.
Okay, but that's in the Code of Federal Regulations, and in this part, it's motor carrier. It's for truck drivers. This part of Title 49 deals with truck drivers. It doesn't deal with passenger vehicles. So of course they're going to define driver as specifically meaning somebody who's operating a commercial vehicle. We're not talking about you and me who's operating in a private vehicle. Dios mío.
And if you want to be silly, you take this, you print this off, and then you also print off the definition of the word person from.
Oh my God! Well, what does person mean here in this private motor vehicle? Excuse me, in the federal motor carrier provisions. See, person means any individual, partnership, association, corporation, business trust, or any other organized group of individuals. Oh yeah, they're gonna say, well, individuals in here, but because individual is included in partnership, association. Therefore, individual can't possibly mean a singular human being. It has to, individual has to mean some sort of corporate entity.
So person means an individual, firm, corporation, partnership, association, state, municipality.
He added firm there. Why did he say firm? Person means any individual, comma, partnership, comma, association, comma, corporation, comma, business. Individual firm is not there. It's individual.
Commission or political subdivision of a state or any interstate body, as well as a department, agency, or instrumentality.
Wait, what the hell? Okay, he's getting person from a different spot. Because it doesn't talk about instrumentality. He's getting a different version of person. Because I'm looking at 390.5T. And person does not include agency, instrumentality of the executive, legislative, judicial. No, that does not mean that.
Of the executive.
Wait, he's looking at black. I thought we were looking at. Okay. Juan, I don't. Are you associated with him or something? But you should tell him. Let's back up for a second.
Executive of operation. This is it here, and you have the definition of driver. Now,
okay, so he's right now we're at 49 CFR 390T, 390.5T, which talks about definitions.
49 is transportation. Okay, so you can say the transportation title 49, and you can print this off. Driver means any person who operates any commercial vehicle. Okay,
so that's that is directly coming from the definition under that subpart. Again, we already talked about how.
And if you want to be really fun and silly, you take this, you print this off, and then you also print off the definition of the word person from
this section, meaning he's also trying to get the definition of person from the same place that he got driver. But person does not have all of that extra stuff that he has here. You know what? I'll show it to you myself. You don't have to take my word for it, okay? But hold on. Why is this not showing? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Just so you guys don't catch me that I'm lying here. We are at, this is at part 3, Title 49, 390, and 390.5. Oh, wait, did I get the wrong person? Wait, why is there a T? Okay, 390.5 T. Driver means anyone who operates any commercial motor vehicles. We got that. Person. Any individual, comma, partnership, comma, association, comma, corporation, comma, business trust, comma, or any other organized group of individuals, period. Says nothing else about what else he's about to say. He's pulling that from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even know what he's looking at.
So person means an individual, firm, corporation, partnership, association, state, municipality, commission, or political subdivision of a state or any interstate body, as well as a department, agency, or instrumentality of the executive, legislative, or judicial branches of the federal government. This definition includes railroads. Now, now the cool thing about a situation like this is, from a psychological standpoint, if you get the officer to laugh, you can bring the tension meter down. So you could smile, look at the officer, and say, "Now, officer, I know it might seem a little shocking."
All right, I just did a Control F, and railroads is not in any part of this of Part 390. He's pulling this definition out of his ass. There's no railroads here. Where is instrumentality? Instrumentality. Nothing. There's no instrumentality here. So he's lying about where he's getting this definition of person, but it's irrelevant either way because these definitions have no applicability when it comes to you being required to have a license to drive in your local state.
But I'd like to let you know, I'm not a railroad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you wouldn't be a smart-ass dick about it. You'd be like a fun jokester about it, right? If
Right.
it's not, nah, you can't get me energy. It's well, officer, you're telling me I'm this thing, and I just got to tell you, I'm just not. I'd love to be, but I'm just not. If I had to attest under penalty of perjury that I am a driver, I'd be going to prison. That's the way I would say it. You flip it in a way where, it's not nah, you can't get me. It's I'm not going to fucking jail, bro. Like, you think I'm going to jail? I'm not.
Well, if you don't provide me with a license, registration, or proof of insurance, then I might have to take you in. And if you're not going to identify yourself, I might have to take you in for that. So the cops can just as easily say, like, I can't put you in jail if you don't provide me with the proper information. Possibility.
I'm going to fucking jail. So if you think I'm going to tell you under penalty of perjury or tell anybody under penalty of perjury that I'm a fucking railroad, you got another thing coming though, because I ain't. You know what I mean? That's just a joke, though. You know what I mean? But you could print off definition of person,
yes, real.
print off definition of driver, and you could say, officer, I know there's a lot of confusion here. I just wouldn't ever say driving versus traveling. I just say, I'm just not a driver as per the definition from Title 49. I feel like that is getting pretty close to the traveling versus driving thing without actually triggering something that would cause the officer to go, oh, sovereign citizen, and then now the tension meter goes to the roof, and now they want to get you out of the car. You see?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The instant you tell a police officer that you're not a driver, it doesn't matter if you go into this whole thing that I'm not a railroad or whatever. The instant that you say, "Oh, officer, but I'm not a driver," they're automatically going to say, another right to travel sovereign citizen. Yeah, they don't even need to go that far.
That's what you want to prevent. Okay. Let's jump back into this here. So again, identification is sameness. So they're trying to identify you are the same as what? It's a bit of a smart-ass move. I don't really know how it would go over, but when they ask you to do something, the activity of you doing that of which they ask you to do is called performance. Okay. And you would say from a purely legal standpoint, a purely contractual standpoint, you would say you have requested me to do an activity, and that activity is called identify. I am attempting to perform. You're telling me that I'm failing to perform. I don't know how to perform.
Most of the time, a cop will say, for you to be able to properly identify yourself and not be potentially charged with failure to identify, we would just need your name, your date of birth, and possibly your social security number, and we'll go from there. Or provide you with a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, provide a state ID. If you don't have a state ID, provide a passport. An actual passport. And again, if you don't have any of those, name, date of birth, will suffice.
How can we proceed in a way where I can perform?
I like that.
That's the legal, very, very specific, like highly trained lawyer version of I can't do what you're asking me to do. It's physically impossible. You see?
Help me understand how I can.
Again, this is why oftentimes with these guys like try to sell these scripts, and you see these things performed in video after video about how these guys always end up getting their windows smashed in. They get hooked up. It's because they think that they think that their script is going to follow exactly in the way that they think it will. And they almost never, ever account for any divergence from the script.
Yeah, Help me understand how I can, because now you've got them thinking and asking questions. Once their mind is starting to ask questions and think, that's when the tension meter is going to go down, because now they're like, well, wait a second. How does he do this? Well, fuck. And now
again, these guys always think that the cops are completely stupid. It's
they're going to actually analyze the situation. They're not analyzing the situation. And the more the tension meter goes up, the lower they're going to analyze this. The analyzation meter goes down as the tension meter goes up. So let's keep going on this. See, the basic idea that police have, which is very sad, by the way, is that everyone is these caged, wild, violent animals. And if we don't keep everything under control, and lawlessness were to become the norm, the entire society would burn to the ground in a matter of seconds. Or some of that idea, right? So
chaos.
The problem is that they, in their own mind, are attempting to prevent chaos. And when you say, blah, 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 all these different things, they think lawlessness, they think the silverback gorilla is getting out of the zoo and killing children, and they get nervous. But they get nervous from a point of view that's actually, from their own perspective, very helpful.
Was that a Harambe reference?
You see? Mm-hmm. That's the issue. The issue is that the typical human being is not an evil, psychopathic villain that as soon as you release the chains, they're going to rush out into the streets and murder as rapidly and as viciously as possible through bloodthirst. That's just not true. That's the actual issue. The actual issue is that a vast majority of people are actually good people, and this issue is just not real. And that's the assumption that they are under. And that is the assumption that when you say things like, nah, you can't get me, or you don't have jurisdiction over me, they freak out in their mind. It's like they actually start to shake. They're freaking out. So when you say that, that's what you're going to experience. I think every single time. Every single time I've had someone message me and say I was arrested, I literally trace it back every single time to the exact point when they said, nah, you can't get me. Some variation of that was said, and that is what started everything. That is what started the downfall of the interaction every single time. And that's what I base everything that I'm saying on the show is based off of hundreds or thousands of third-party interactions that I've had through other people, through videos, through them explaining the situation to me, to reading tickets, to all this stuff. And that's kind of what has developed into what I'm talking about on the show.
But you keep saying it's always when they say, nah, you can't touch me. But by you claiming to be a foreign diplomat and therefore have diplomatic immunity, are you not basically saying the same thing? Are you not basically doing the same thing as nah, you can't get me? By saying, oh, I'm a foreign diplomat and I have diplomatic immunity, therefore you can't give me a ticket. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing that you're claiming that all of these other right to travel folks are doing that's getting them in trouble. But you're doing it yourself.
You know what I mean? So let's keep going through this. If you want to, whoops, did I get kicked out?
It looks like it.
Uh-oh. Where was I when I was kicked out?
And it's good to get another breakdown of this.
Okay, cool. So let's keep going. I don't think I said anything. Oh, I was going to say, I think when it cut out, I was going to say another thing you could print out if you want to, just to have as reference material, is the definition from Title 49, that same definition we were looking at earlier. The definition of commercial, you can see here, driver means any person who operates any commercial motor vehicle. So operates has a special definition. I wouldn't get into this one with the officer. It's just way too complex and convoluted. But you could print off this one, and then you also could print off commercial.
And also, that's also a good question. Yes. Also, John, I don't even know why I didn't even think about it. Even foreign diplomats have a form of identification that they can give to a law enforcement officer when asked. So them being completely incredulous, like, I don't know how to identify myself, sir. How do I prove my sameness? Foreign diplomats actually have ID cards that they can provide to law enforcement who can check and confirm their ID.
Motor vehicle. So you could say, in accordance with Title 49,
I'm not operating a commercial motor vehicle as per the definition from Title 49, which would be this one here, right? Commercial motor vehicle means any self-propelled or towed motor vehicle used on a highway in interstate commerce. Now, keep in mind the word interstate means between states. Intrastate means inside of a state. Interstate, and they actually have that. You can see that even here. In the DOT motor carrier lookup, the company snapshot, if you go down, I can prove that very, very rapidly right here. Right? Interstate, intrastate. See? Intra means inside of that state. Inter means in between states.
There must be some lag because I'm not seeing whatever's on your screen. It's still the definition of commercial motor vehicle.
Oh, yes. Let me. I'm trying a new way of doing this where I share just the.
Okay, I actually want to go to this stop. I did actually see a little bit of it, but I want to actually go to the stop itself. What's
Content on freedom.
what was his YouTube page? Hold on.
About somebody he filed, and I go.
Though we don't.
All right, it is Captain Taylor Morgan Police. Oh, it was. I remember it was unlisted. Hang on a second. See if I can find the actual video. I know I saw the original video, but I know I got the link to the video, but it was unlisted. That's why I couldn't find it. Ah, I'm annoyed. I can't. I thought. Where was it?
My alarm just went off.
I don't care.
Day.
I don't care. Hold on.
It's 4.
Wrong. Oops. Wrong feed. I know I had it. I wish I saved it, but I don't. I didn't save it. I should have saved it.
We shouldn't be slaves to these quote unquote laws and regulations. Like, I know this in my being. So that's what allows me to take these actions in full faith that everything will work out exactly how it's supposed to.
Oh God! It was in the description of the video.
Hurry up, it's an emergency.
The reason I stopped you is you have no
There it is. I found it. I'm an idiot. I know what his channel was, but his channel had the video unlisted. I forgot that there's a direct link to the video itself in the description of their little breakdown. I forgot about that. All right, I found it. I have it here.
License plate on your car, and you also were going above the speed limit.
Okay.
Okay, so you had about 52, and the speed limit was 40. You have your driver's license, registration, and insurance.
No. Do you have a signed warrant or probable cause proving that I committed a crime?
You committed a crime.
With the victim?
Yes.
Who's the victim?
You committed 2 violations.
Who is the victim of what crime?
You violated 2 vehicle codes.
No.
You did.
That's not a crime. So in that case, you have just violated my Fourth Amendment right. You have violated my Fourth Amendment right by forcing my car off
That is not a Fourth Amendment right. That's a prequel? Nice.
the road and approaching me with force of arms.
Are you failing to identify yourself to me?
Yes. For my safety, I'm going to assert my Fifth Amendment right. For your safety, I'm going to...
You don't have a Fifth Amendment right to withhold your identification when you're on the road. You most states you are obligated to provide your license or provide some level of identification, name, date of birth when you are lawfully stopped by a police officer.
provide you with my affidavit of status.
Don't start reaching for stuff.
This is my affidavit of status. Everything I need to say to you is in the sworn affidavit.
Okay. Don't start reaching for stuff. Okay, you are being detained. You've committed 2 vehicle code violations. You are being legally detained. Are you refusing to identify yourself?
All of the information I need to say to you is in that sworn affidavit.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have you step out of the car for me.
Buddy?
No.
Well, we need an attorney?
They're not going to do anything. Let me speak to your supervisor, please.
Unlock your vehicle. I'm gonna have you step out.
No. I'm getting some water. Actually, where is it? Here we are again, boys. The party's just getting started.
Hi.
Hello.
Just step out.
No,
Okay, so you're being given a lawful order. Step out of the vehicle.
I'm not being given a lawful order. I've not committed any crime. You do not have a signed warrant.
On your vehicle.
That is not a crime. There is no victim.
It's a vehicle code violation. The state of California.
Right, that does not apply. If you read my affidavit of status, you'll see that that does not apply.
So failure to obey the lawful command is a violation of Penal Code 148.
Okay. Also does not apply.
It does.
I'm not a United States citizen.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
You're in California, the city of Laguna Beach.
Yes.
Okay. So we need you to step out.
No.
If you fail to step out, we are going to forcibly break your window and remove you from the vehicle, and you're going to go to jail.
I would like to talk with your
I am
supervisor.
the supervisor.
Okay, well, if
I am the supervisor.
that's what you want to do, then you will
I don't
break
wanna do
multiple
that. I'd like
laws.
to follow the
No.
officer's giving you.
No.
Right. Well,
Everything I need to say is in the sworn affidavit. Have you read that?
I haven't.
Well, it would behoove you if you did.
Why?
It would save us a lot of trouble.
Okay. Do you have your license?
No, I don't.
Okay. You're also required to provide that.
Nope.
You are.
I provided you with my affidavit of status.
Oh. So is this a sovereign citizen ordeal?
Absolutely not. I'm not a citizen.
What are you?
I am a man. Everything I need to say is in that sworn affidavit. I'm done answering questions.
Okay, so here's the thing. We don't want anyone to get hurt. Okay, so we'd like your cooperation. Can we have that? So, like I said, you've been given a lawful order to exit the vehicle.
Please define for the class what an affidavit is and why these people hinge everything on them. An affidavit is generally a sworn statement that you're making, alluding to facts, or a sworn statement to alleged facts that you're making. People saying that because they are sworn, an affidavit is usually sworn, under penalty of perjury, that does that it automatically makes it truth. But that's not how that works. Giving an affidavit to a police officer does not mean that they automatically believe that everything that is being said in there is truth.
Provide your driver's license, which you're required to do.
Everything I need to say to you is in that sworn affidavit.
Okay, so you're prepared to go to jail?
I'm done answering questions.
It's my backpack. Yeah, hello.
I'll give you a moment to think about it.
So let's run through the scenarios together. One is they break your window and they take you to jail, and you get this sorted out on the back end. Or you get out of the car and they issue a ticket.
No. No, don't say anything.
Will you talk to us?
I'm not involved in this incident, so I don't have much to say. Yeah, I'm not involved in it. I can talk to you right here, sure. Hello. Hey, Officer Meyer. Yeah.
That's not my concern. I don't know if you can maybe try to talk some sense in your friend so he doesn't.
He's skipping. Those cuts are not made. Those are in the video.
Yeah.
because that's the last thing we want to do. But we're also going to do this.
What's the alternative?
The alternative?
Yeah, to him.
Is him listening to what my partners are instructing him to do, which is, I believe, to get out of the car.
And how will that result?
Identify himself.
Yeah, I understand that. What will be the result of that?
What do you mean?
Did you just say that I failed to identify myself?
Have you identified yourself to my partners?
Yes.
How so?
I provided them my sworn affidavit. Have you seen that?
Oh, that's not a...
Nobody said that they've read it. That is a sworn affidavit, signed and notarized.
You don't have to accept that affidavit as a confirmation of your identity. Like I said, over and over and over. I'll say it for the third or fourth time. In most states, usually the most primary form of identification is your driver's license. If you don't got that, if a state ID card. If you don't got that, potentially if your passport, if you're one of those sovereign citizens. And if you don't got that either, you usually need to provide at the very least your name, which you haven't provided to them at this point, unless you're saying that your affidavit has your name. I doubt it, but their name, date of birth, so they can run your name in the system.
But you need to drive.
I am not driving under commerce. I am traveling.
I've presented him with what my assessment is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What is your assessment?
My assessment is that y'all are going to do what you think is right and what you believe is legal and lawful.
Yeah.
And that.
Look, here's the thing. The last time I saw a police officer, at least on video camera, on a dash cam, the last time I saw an officer being relegated to thumbing through a giant, like 2 inches worth of paperwork, he was then he and his partner were then ambushed and shot dead on the side of the road. The last time I saw a cop distract himself by thumbing through 2 inches worth of BS on paper.
Right.
Could have some consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also could have consequences back if you guys haven't done your due diligence to read that sworn affidavit. And I'm not a cop, so I can't tell you what is and is not the repercussions of that. But you could consider that option as well, even though it may not make sense to you why you would do that and why you wouldn't get out of the car.
Okay.
No. Consider it. Yeah, thank you.
To your knowledge, are there any weapons in the vehicle?
To my knowledge, I cannot state one way or another. So my answer is no. To my knowledge, I have no. To my knowledge, no. Correct.
Do you have your ID on you?
I do, but I'm.
Are you gonna find that to me or not?
I prefer not to.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he has ID and he's being difficult about it.
I'm gonna request that you turn off the car. Thank you.
98, what happened to the Sov Sit after he gunned down the officers? Well, it wasn't just a Sov Sit. It was a Sov Sit and a Sov Sit's son who shot and killed those officers. They were eventually in a high-speed chase, and they were removed from this plane of existence at the end of the high-speed chase when they were cornered by chasing officers. If you guys don't know, this is in reference to the 2010 incident in Tennessee. They are actually, I keep forgetting to mention this to you guys. They're making a movie out of that whole thing. There is a movie coming out called Sovereign, that's coming out this year, and it's about that incident and that sovereign citizen and his son.
We don't know. There's an affidavit.
Yes, it's the movie is called Sovereign. You can look it up.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid. I keep forgetting what the name of the most famous actors. Dennis Quaid is in the movie. Was it in Arkansas? I thought it was Tennessee, but you might be right. It could be Arkansas. Hold on. West Memphis, Arkansas. Okay, it was in Arkansas. Sovereign movie. Nick Offerman and Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Dennis Quaid, Nick Offerman, Jacob Tremblay, Nancy Travis. Okay, so it was West Memphis, Arkansas. I don't know why my brain thought it was Tennessee, but yes. What after all the incident, you did see a lot of movies that he made. The Sovereign Citizen Guru had online, and it was your bog standard stuff, getting out of mortgages or foreclosure, what he would sell, this and that. And yes, there's a dash cam video footage of the police officer and his partner stopping this guy. He's given like this this thick of paperwork, and while the officer is thumbing through the paperwork with his back turned to the sovereign citizens, he's looking thumbing through with his facing the dash cam. That's when the father and son get out, shoot him dead, and leave him on the side of the road. And yeah, they eventually are chased down by the cops, and they are, removed from this mortal plane.
My name is Sergeant Yielding. So we find ourselves in a bit of a predicament here.
Indeed.
All right. So I've looked over the affidavit that you provided, okay? So you believe that the only person that has some control over you is Lord, our daughter, Savior, all that, right?
Correct.
Well, I'm a Christian too, right? But I also know that I live in the United States of America, right? We both live in the United States of America, do we not?
The United States of America, yes.
Do you pay taxes?
Absolutely not. Legally, no. I'm under no tax obligation because I'm not a citizen of the United States.
Well, I don't believe that.
It doesn't matter what you believe.
Okay. So you drive on these roads which are paid for by taxes and all that stuff, right?
I believe that's what you believe.
Okay. Well, that's reality. So
It's not.
Here's where we're at right now.
Okay.
Okay. We are all to abide by the rules set forth by our government. Okay.
If you are a citizen of the United States Corporation.
Again, I believe that you were saying that you are not, that you're entitled to believe that, but there's also what we need to follow. Even though we believe that we're not, we're still bound by those laws.
I follow natural law,
Okay.
which if you have a signed warrant or
Okay.
probable cause proving that I committed a crime where there is a victim,
Okay.
a physical victim, then absolutely I will.
I understand what you're saying. I do understand this. Okay. But you did break a law. So are you telling me
A violation.
Let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
You believe that you can go whatever speed you want on these roads?
If there is no victim, yes. However, I don't believe that that is what you should do.
Okay.
Well, I personally wouldn't be going 90 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour school zone, but yes, I am allowed to do that as much as I want, as long as I don't crash and kill a bunch of kids. Okay.
So you're saying that.
But I personally wouldn't do that because I'm a good person.
Correct.
But if you were to run into somebody,
Absolutely.
and there's a victim there.
Yes. And then you should be held accountable.
Okay. You're also believing that you're not supposed to have registration on your car and a license plate and all that stuff, right?
Yes, because I'm not driving under any commercial means. I'm traveling.
No, I understand what you're saying. So we don't want to have any kind of issues,
Likewise.
okay? And there are certain things that you need to follow when you're given a lawful order by a police officer. Right? That's just the way it is. That's just the law. All right?
Which I provided. I provided my
I
identification.
understand, again, your beliefs, okay? Regardless of what you believe, you are to follow these rules. And that's just the unfortunate circumstance that you find yourself in. Okay? If you were to live in another country or another province, whatever, and they have different laws, you would still need to follow those laws.
I understand what you're saying.
Right, so-
What I'm saying is that I am not under the jurisdiction of Laguna Beach,
I
of
understand
state of
the belief,
California.
but the
No,
reality
it's
of
not
it is-
it's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of fact. If you read the affidavit of status,
Well, that's your affidavit.
right,
Yeah.
which is an affidavit of
But
fact.
that doesn't negate you from following the rules of where you're at.
That's probably it, Taze.
It
Yeah.
does, because that only applies to citizens.
Okay, well, you're driving on the roads here in Laguna Beach. Which is the
I'm
state of
traveling.
California, which is the United States of America.
I'm traveling, which does not
Fine,
require
whatever
a license.
vernacular you choose to describe what you are doing, you are currently here in Laguna.
Yes,
Okay, physically here. Your body and
in the
spirit
location of Laguna Beach, not the corporation of City of Laguna Beach.
being here means that you need to follow the rules here.
I understand that's what you believe.
Okay. And that's reality. So, have you had time to think about it? Because we don't want to take you to jail tonight. We don't want to forcibly remove you from the car. But if you continue to believe that and not go with our lawful orders and all of that stuff, that's what we are going to do. We don't want to do that, but that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think that would be a good idea.
We don't want to do it.
Well, then don't. You have free will.
But also, we can't let things like this just go because then everybody.
What crime have I committed?
Well, you're driving without a license, right?
A crime requires a victim.
Okay. Well, the state of California is a victim.
State of California is not a person. This is what I'm talking about.
I understand. I understand your.
Okay, so I do agree that the cops should not be doing this with him. I get that the cop is trying to have like a rapport and trying to build a rapport, but at this point he needs to realize that we're not going to get anywhere. So yeah, yeah.
You've already been on your way.
You're cute.
If you weren't wanted for like murder or anything, and your VIN is covered, so we can't even.
Oh, he covered the VIN too. Ooh, that might be a federal offense.
Why are you being so difficult about this? You've already been on your way.
You're cute.
If you weren't wanted for like murder or anything, and your VIN is covered, so we can't even figure out this car because you have no license plate. You have no license plate on your car and your VIN is covered. So
Mm-hmm.
identifying this car. How do I know it's not stolen?
I don't know. How do you?
So now I have reasonable suspicion that you could potentially be driving a stolen vehicle.
Do you?
I do.
You're looking up my.
Usually if you're tampering with a VIN, like I guess for the same reason why somebody would brush off a serial number on a firearm, it usually means it's like hot, right?
My name. You'll see that it's registered to me.
I don't know if this car is registered to you. I don't know what the license plate is for it. I don't know what the VIN is for it. I don't even know who you are because you don't even have any.
I provided you with my sworn affidavit, and that's everything you need is in there.
It's not though.
Okay. Well, then you don't need it.
We're trying to make this as easy as possible.
Yes, you are.
It's gonna
That's
end up coming
been made
down
clear.
To us having to use force to get you out of the car, and we don't want to go that route.
Good thing you have free will.
I think this is past free will. This is about laws in California. Are you like wanted for something crazy? Is that what this is about? I'm just trying to figure out why we're playing this game right now.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
And like, where did they clock you? Like, we were doing like 25 miles an hour by the time they come.
I saw her. She was in one of the corners.
2 squad car thing confused me.
Yeah.
Just make sure I get your home address before.
This is all on video, so.
Just take the citation. What's up? Yeah.
Are you willing to step out of the car so you don't get dragged in all this?
I'm not willing to step out of the car, and I'd prefer not to get dragged into it. I will be sitting very peacefully with my hands available for sight the entire time.
Okay.
So I'll be, yeah.
So, by law, it's case law, in a traffic stop, a police officer has the right to get the driver and all occupants out of the car. And if you refuse to get out of the car on.
Which is true. SCOTUS has already confirmed that the Penn v. Mims has, in a different SCOTUS case, Penn v. Mims has been extended to passengers of a vehicle. So they can require passengers of a vehicle to get out upon request of a police officer at a traffic stop.
On your own accord, you can be arrested.
My concern.
I forget what the name of the case is.
Hear me out real quick.
Yeah.
If you are wanting to.
I think it's Arizona, U.S. versus Arizona.
A lawful order that you have to get out of the car when requested to do so by a police officer.
Okay. I hear you, and I'll
somebody versus Arizona.
Continue to engage.
I forget.
My concern is that by getting out of the car, I will have given you access to this car.
Okay.
And that's my concern.
Okay. Are you willing to go to jail to do that?
Well,
I'm
talking to him, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I am.
I would like to mention that I am
also refusing to get out of the car.
I'm not refusing.
Well, that's what you just told me.
No, you asked me a hypothetical question and I answered
Okay,
hypothetically.
Well, now I'm not talking hypothetical. I'm requesting you as a passenger in a vehicle that was pulled over to get out of the vehicle. That is a lawful order.
And
if you do not do that, you will be arrested for Penal Code 148A1.
He's just trying to intimidate
May I
you.
look that up on my phone?
Sure.
Sure, thanks. What is it?
He's just trying to intimidate
I got you, buddy.
Just don't answer questions.
I'll tell it to you again once you get your Google open.
I'm ready.
PC for Penal Code 148A1.
It's good memory. CA, PC. I'm a slow reader. Just give me
And
a
then I'll
second.
also tell you the case law if you want to read that too.
Ooh.
Sure, you can tell it to me and
So
I'm ready for you.
I believe this is the name of the case law. I mean, I know the case law, but as far as the name of it,
Yeah.
I believe it's Pennsylvania v. Mims.
Mims. Ooh.
So Penn v. again. Well, Penn again. I'm being very. It's Maryland versus Williams. Okay, Alon, thank you. Yeah, I'm being very pedantic. But Penn v. Mims is specifically for the driver. Alon probably caught it for me. Maryland versus Williams applies Penn v. Mims to the passenger. I'm being pedantic, but yes, that's where we're at.
Good memory. All right.
And driver, you can feel free to.
Maryland versus Wilson. Sorry.
Take care of this. Chapter 7.
Does that sound like the right one?
The first one you gave me or the second one?
Well, the first one is what you would be arrested for. The second one is the case law backing it.
I see. Does Pennsylvania case law apply to California?
It applies
Yes.
to the entire United States.
Yes, because it's a Supreme Court case.
It's a federal thing.
Does that sound like about what it is?
Let me,
Oh, you're on the penal code?
That's right. Subdivision D. I'll always be here for a while, making sure I understand this law.
Okay.
To answer your questions?
The language is has a lot of language about me trying to take your weapon and whatnot, and it just doesn't seem like it really applies to the situation. I'm certainly not delaying or obstructing anything that you're doing. I'm locked into the car currently.
You are by refusing to get out of the car.
I haven't.
There might be like a case brief or a case summary.
I haven't.
Okay. Again, the cops need to not do this.
At the bottom.
I haven't outright refused, actually.
What?
To do when you get a ticket. Turn it into a bill. The restrictive endorsement.
Obviously, and if you don't sign, then you're basically demanding to be brought before a magistrate, at which point you'd be taken into custody. Okay? So just keep that in mind for the rest of this process.
What's up?
Huh.
What do you think about all this?
I think it's a headache.
Why are you doing it?
Well, my partner pulled you over.
Passenger.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If you do find yourself in this situation again.
Yeah.
You identifying yourself.
It is completely up to the officer that's handling this call.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Go to jail or not. In this case,
That's not required.
An ID or
I
a
won't
picture.
speak for what's going to
That-
happen. but
not
the
required.
sounds of that
Picture?
Sounds like
Is not required.
they're
How did you
wanting to
identify
work with
yourself? I'm not even
but
familiar
if
with
With
you
my
have
affidavit
to
of
do
status.
this again,
Okay.
if you
Yeah, no, I
get
just was saying what's up.
100% Go to jail.
Where are you guys going?
Back to my
for
place.
What I told you.
Where you live?
You get what
Right.
School that hated it.
Sorry, I have to skip through this dialogue. I'm going towards the end.
What's up, brother?
I was gonna ask you. So, because you're getting a citation, judge, about this.
I'm gonna have to do some studying and cite some case law and cite the fact that I am not a citizen and you guys do not have jurisdiction over me and I committed no crime and there are no witnesses, there's no victims, there's been no crime committed.
And then do you keep the cameras in the car
No.
in case this happens?
No, I create content
I don't.
for a living.
Yeah. Well, of course you do.
Yeah.
What kind of content?
For you, this is Well, this is content. Although it has 106,000 views is actually pretty high. But you have it unlisted.
Lifestyle content, health, fitness. I carry this with me all the time. It is good content though, so thanks guys.
Do you have like a
Before the date printed on your ticket.
Be good to release some, well, you probably can't, but like body cam footage.
Here, listen to my
Alright,
partner
Mr. Blaine, you're being issued a citation for a few things. Speeding, no plate, not having your license when you're driving, conducting a peace officer. Okay, so you are being issued a misdemeanor citation. I need you to sign right here. It's not admitted.
So he's getting four citations.
You are being issued a misdemeanor citation. I need you to
Speeding,
citation for a few things. Speeding, no plate, not having
no plates, no license,
when you're driving, conducting a peace officer. Okay, so you're
and obstruction.
being issued a misdemeanor citation. I need you to sign right here. It's not admitting guilt. It's just saying you're gonna take care of the ticket on or before the date printed on your ticket.
I'll sign on the physical ticket.
You have to sign on here.
No, I'll sign on the physical ticket.
So if you're refusing to sign, that's you indicating that you want to go straight to seeing a judge, which means we have to take you into custody right now. Trying to avoid taking
I'm
you
not
to jail
refusing to
tonight.
sign.
Okay,
Am,
well,
am
you
I
need
being
to
issued a
sign.
citation?
Yes, you are.
Can I see that citation?
The copy of the citation.
We can even print out a copy with your signature on it. Is that what you're requesting?
Cool. So yeah, this I will
So hear
sign.
me out. If
So
you sign
it's-
that thing,
that's
we'll
just
print out a
that
copy with your
prints. We have to
signature
actually
on
have
it.
you sign the
Okay.
e-sign.
Yeah.
Sign the chain first, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
So you need to.
Where's the little device?
The sign in the gray area, and it has to be your legal signature.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it looks real great.
Kind of fat fingers, huh?
Yeah, that's not working well.
And that's your legal signature when you got your driver's license.
That's what you get
I have
on
a
that
picture.
thing.
No, so it's supposed to be your legal signature. I have a copy of it back there when you got your driver's license.
Okay.
It's on your Cal photo.
Oh, so he did. Wait. So he cut out the part where he actually gave him the license.
Okay.
This is not your legal signature. So I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to give you one more opportunity to sign with your
Wait. So then how is he getting a citation for what?
legal signature. I have a copy of it in the gray area, and it has to be your legal signature.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it looks real great.
Kind of fat fingers, huh?
Yeah, that's not working well.
And that's your legal signature when you got your driver's license.
That's what you get
I
on
have
on
a
that
picture.
thing.
No, so it's supposed to be your legal signature. I have a copy of it back there when you got your driver's license.
Okay.
It's on your Cal photo.
Okay.
This is not your legal signature. So I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to give you one more opportunity.
Or maybe okay. The other possibility is that they got his name through his affidavit, and then from there they got a copy. Were able to get a photocopy of his license, and therefore they were able to see his signature. That's why they're still getting a citation for not having his license. Maybe.
Opportunity to sign with your legal signature. Okay, you failing to do so again, then that just means you want to go see a judge because you're failing to give your legal signature. Okay, so we're gonna clear.
How are you gonna tell me what my signature is?
Because it's not. It's when you got your driver's license, your signature you use that is your legal signature.
Uh-huh.
So I need you to use your legal signature from when you got your driver's license.
Great. We'll do it again.
Okay.
Written in a distinct form. Name written in a distinct form that is used to identify yourself or provide authorization on important documents. It can be a series of squiggles, a picture, or even a traditional X.
Yeah,
for
they're
people who
just
can't
making
read
shit
or
up.
write.
Yeah, so this is not the signature.
It's-
So your signature right here is on your affidavit, sir, that you gave us, and that is not what that looks like. So it has to be your legal signature. Your legal signature is on this affidavit you gave to us, and this is not your signature. It's on my body cam. This is not your legal signature. Okay?
What about that is not legal?
I don't know.
One more. I'm going to clear it one more time. Otherwise, you're going to be taken into custody at that point, and we're not going to go the misdemeanor route anymore. And you're going to go to jail, and you're going to see a judge.
It's not an admission of guilt, dude. It's just a promise to appear or to take care of this.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fuck with you guys.
It seems like you are, so it has to be your legal signature.
It seems like you're trying to fuck with us.
No, we've actually been very patient. Go ahead and
They've been very patient.
sign if you want to look at this, just
Types
as
of
a reminder
legal
of your legal
signatures.
signature. That works too.
It constitutes a signature.
Right. Here's a copy of that. Make sure you put a license plate on your car, otherwise you're going to continue to get stopped. We'll remove that piranha from your car.
What's a piranha?
Like, what do I do with this?
What's a piranha?
They put some on my car. I can pop the tire if I drove away. All right, well, that's that.
That was funny and not funny.
We live to see another day.
Full signature means the legal signature of the individual. It can be a series of squiggles, a picture, or even a traditional X for people who can't read or write.
Am I free to drive away? Is the thing off? The piranha? What? You took the piranha off? Okay, bye. Love you. Thanks. Have a good night.
Oh my God. Mr. Myers was upset. That guy was butthurt.
I'm about to run this red light.
Don't. No, dude. No, you did not. Oh my God, dude.
Come get me, motherfuckers.
Oh my God.
Yo.
Oh my God.
How far are you?
All right, we're done.
Huh? Closed.
Let me see the chain.
If it's closed, then get out of here.
Can't be up here. The third floor is closed.
Well, then you should get down.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't be here if you weren't here. So, I know you might want to take pictures, but you got to go. Please.
No, thanks.
Okay. Do I have to call the police?
Yes, you do. Please call the police.
Okay. There's nothing I can do to make you go because I don't like calling the police.
I'm gonna be up here. I'm up here every morning. Police come, police go. You can do whatever you want to do.
You just don't like to follow
You're a free
rules?
individual. Absolutely not. I don't follow orders.
All right, no problem. It's not an order. I'm just asking.
So you're a child then. You're an angsty, rebellious teenager. Okay. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not gonna continue with this.
Nicely.
Yeah, I'm saying nicely that I'm gonna be up here.
Okay.
You're making yourself call him. I'm not making you do
I
anything.
know, but if I let you stay up here, then I have to let everybody. So.
You have free will as a human being. You can do whatever it is that you want to do.
Just take a picture.
Brand Rising Health Pirates are up here.
Oh God, he said Grand Rising.
Top of the parking garage, catching the beautiful sunrise this morning. Got some guests here today who decided to enjoy it with me. They're setting their circadian rhythm, optimizing their health, and trying to kick me off.
What the hell's a circadian rhythm?
Top of the parking garage, as usual. But we're here on Instagram Live.
What's your name?
Brand Rising. Sunrise is done. Clock. It's
What the hell is a circadian rhythm? Maybe it's a thing? I don't know. So it's a fancy way of saying my body's sleep cycle? It could be. When I think of circadian, I think of cicada, like the damn roaches. All right, sorry. Okay, so it is okay. All right, fine, fair enough. All right, fine. It's this thing. I get it, but
It regulates all hormonal functions in your body. The blue light specifically shuts off
the 24-hour internal clock in the brain. Okay.
melatonin production in the morning and actually resets it for 14 to 16 hours later. And so this is
all right. That's fine. All right, fine. I don't. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not saying it's a new concept, guys. I just never heard of the fancy way of saying my body sleep schedule or my internal clock. I didn't know it was called circadian rhythm. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not as enlightened as you guy. Jesus, my vibrations are all off today. Forgive me. Liz, you need to stop triggering. I hate that I keep getting one guide in the chat all the time. All right. So we're probably going to take... I kind of want to take a look at this guy's other stuff later on. Because they do have their... let me show this. This is a copy of the memorandum order and opinion on one of Brandon's cases. I don't want to go too deep into it. I'm going to try and see if I can go through it quickly and concisely, because I want to get back to Starfield for a bit. But the plaintiff and the plaintiffs are homeowners. It's against Compass, which is a lender, a mortgage lender, I think. And the plaintiffs filed this motion to compel. Yeah, motion to compel with communication with attorney in fact. Who's the attorney in fact? It's Brandon Joe Williams. Whereas the Compass, the defendants, filed a motion to dismiss. Apparently, they hired Brandon Joe Williams to represent them. The defendant is like, bro, you're not an attorney. We have no obligation to talk to you. And so they filed this motion to compel. The judge is like, no, they don't have an obligation to talk to you. And also, we're dismissing this complaint as, frivolous. That's the long and short of it. But I also note that they also identify another, I guess, a partner with Brandon Joe Williams. And that the court has noted that this other individual who's associated with Brandon Joe Williams has been told by other courts to knock it off with the false representations of being an attorney. So that's the long and short of it. So far, this guy's latest thing is not very successful, but we'll see what happens when he tries to argue his own cases. But yeah, all right, I'm done here. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna check out what all the new stuff that was announced today. I know that the Starfield DLC was announced. There's a new trailer for the Indiana Jones game. There's also apparently a new Doom game coming out. And so on and so forth. Yeah, take care, guys. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm probably not, but I will be back on Tuesday for sure. So look out for me at the very least on Tuesday. And yeah, you guys take care. Check out my Discord, hit that like button on your way out, and I will see you next time. Later, guys. Thank you. Adios.